Comfort is the worst addiction ever. It's the root cause of your poverty, and you know it. It's much more comfortable to sleep in than wake up at 6 in the morning to work on your dreams. It's much more comfortable partying and drinking all night than working on your business all night. It's much more comfortable scrolling all day on TikTok, watching stupid things, than learning how to get rich. Reality is, it's much more comfortable living a mediocre life than making something of yourself. Nothing is more damaging to your potential than comfort. You can combine all the vices in the world, drugs, alcohol, women, gambling, and still nothing reaches the devastating effects that comfort does to your life. And I speak this from experience because I lost many years in my early 20s living a life of comfort. I became intoxicated with the feeling of mediocrity. I was willing to let go of vast dreams and goals, to live in a state of extreme bliss of doing nothing. Open your eyes before it's too late and you grow old with a ton of regrets. You're meant to retire your mom. You're meant to become a millionaire. You're meant to change the trajectory of your bloodline. You're meant to leave generational wealth for your descendants. If you're not gonna work hard for yourself, do it for the people counting on you. In this video, I want to talk about the addiction of comfort and how it's affecting a mass generation of young men, and how you're being brainwashed by society to never push yourself to realize your true potential, on how you're being conditioned to think that it's okay to be lazy, on how you're being indoctrinated to think that you're not special, that it's okay to live an average life. My goal is to wake you up from that terrible comfort addiction and help you realize what you're meant to do in this life. Wake up now before it's too late. I don't want you to die with regrets. You see, the graveyard is the richest place on earth, because it is here that you will find all the hopes and dreams that were never fulfilled, the books that were never written, the songs that were never sung, the inventions that were never shared, the cures that were never discovered, all because someone was too lazy, too comfortable to take that first step. Humans are capable of incredible feats. We were able to reach the moon. We were able to cure most of the cancers and illnesses out there. We are able to communicate with people across the globe within seconds. This is all living proof of the incredible things humans have achieved. You too can accomplish your wildest dreams. There are 3 key obstacles you must overcome in order to realize your true potential and leave behind the devastating addiction called comfort. The first obstacle you must overcome is to stop being humble. This is a virus that is affecting many young men, keeping them from pushing themselves. They are scared of being seen as that black sheep, of standing out. They are scared of going against the tides, or showing off their true intelligence, of showing off what they're capable of. We're indoctrinated to follow a certain route in life. You're taught to fit in, to not think you're special. Do you know what the definition of being humble is? It's having or showing modest or low estimate of one's own importance. It means that you think of yourself less than many. Now I ask you, do you feel like you're not important in this world? You don't think you can make an impact? Do you think you're not special? And because of this blocker in your mind, right, this mental block telling you that you ain't shit, that you ain't special, and that you shouldn't aspire for more, it means that you give up trying. Now don't take my word for it. I bet you that when you were a small kid growing up, you had vast dreams and goals. Where are they now? And now as an adult, you discard your dreams and enter a rat race, as so it's called. And since you don't like anything and no one's pushing you to strive for more, you end up comfortable where you're at. Screw that. Ignore what the sheep tell you. You're meant to be special. You're meant to stand out. I want to give you a quick backstory that's very applicable to this. I was at a family party a couple months ago, and a family member, an aunt, asked me what I was doing for a living, and I told her very enthusiastically that I'm building a marketing agency, that I wasn't doing very good, but I was up and coming. I was putting in the work, and I told her I was very excited because I was starting to figure it out. I was telling her about all my dreams. Okay, I was very excited, very enthusiastic of what the future holds for me. But she responded right away with a negative attitude. She told me to stop being childish, to go get a real job. And I choked up because she was somebody that I really valued, right, as a person. And her telling me this really hurt me. When the sheep see people trying to do better than them in life, right, go for their dreams, they always try to put them down because they're reminded of the goals and dreams that they let go of. Screw what others tell you. You're meant to be great, not humble. The second obstacle you must overcome is believing you're even capable of riches, overcoming imposter syndrome. It doesn't matter where in the world you're from, or if you were born into extreme poverty, you can always change that. There's a saying, if you were born poor, it's not your fault. But if you die poor, then it is. I really want to emphasize the importance of overcoming imposter syndrome, because this is a root cause on the reason why a lot of young individuals especially don't go out and try to pursue their dreams or goals. Right? They're comfortable where they're at, and they're scared of taking that first step, investing that couple $100 or starting that next business, because they're scared if it's not going to work out for them. They're scared to think if they're even qualified to start a business or if they're even capable of riches. It's much more comfortable where they're at. All right, so that's a big issue. They're indoctrinated into following a certain route in life from birth to upbringing, right? You got to follow a certain path. Obstacle 2, which is overcoming imposter syndrome, builds upon obstacle 1, right? First, you got to acknowledge, right, that you're being played around, right, mentally, right? There's like a mental block you're telling you, no, you got to be humble. You got to follow a certain route. After you overcome the issue of, okay, I'm not going to stick to this lifestyle, I'm not going to be humble, I'm going to pursue what I want, then you got to think, okay, I'm actually capable of riches, right? Because there's no point of being like, I'm not humble. But when it comes to actually building the business, like, fuck, am I actually worthy of building a business? Yes, of course you're worthy. Okay, it's very important to acknowledge the fact that you might fail, and that's part of life. But only those that are able to accomplish those great, incredible feats are the ones that dare to try. Obstacle 2, overcoming imposter syndrome, builds upon obstacle 1. You gotta believe you're capable, because if you never believe that you're capable of riches, or capable of becoming an astronaut, becoming the president, of retiring your mom, you're gonna stick back to your old ways of living a comfortable life. You can achieve anything you put your mind to. You're capable of riches. Anybody's capable of riches, no matter their background, where they come from, what religion they practice. I've managed to build a marketing agency that makes tens of thousands of dollars a month, and I manage over $100,000 a month in ad spend for my clients. I make much more money than people around my age demographic, and also including people older than me. But never for a minute do I feel like I'm not deserving to be where I'm at. Funny enough, I feel underwhelmed because I feel like I can be so much further in my life, earning so much more money than what I'm currently doing. And this is the mentality you must have. And guys, if you ever feel like imposter syndrome is sneaking up to you, where people start saying things about you, about your age, right, that you're too young to run a business, just think about the great figures of the past. Alexander the Great conquered the known world at age 25. Age didn't define him, right? Under him, he ruled over a massive empire. He managed millions of soldiers, massive economies, different religions under him. If he was able to do that at 25, how can you not manage a small business? And don't get me started on the long list of child monarchs of the past of Europe and Asia. Kids that have ascended the throne at 3, 4, 5 years old, having to rule an empire at such a young age. If these kids at such a young age were able to manage a diverse empire, why can't I manage my own little business? You're capable of riches. You're capable of anything you put your mind to. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. So if you're ever feeling imposter syndrome, just think about the great figures of the past. That always works for me. The third and last obstacle to help you overcome the terrible addiction of comfort is having a why, right? A reason to push yourself out your comfort zone. This is something I have to constantly remind myself every day as I build my business, working from sunrise to sunset, working 70, 80 hours a week. Look, there is no hack. The reason why people are able to wake up at 5, 6 in the morning to work on their business is because they have a strong enough why. The reason people are able to work from sunrise to sunset is because they have a strong enough why, a strong enough reason to continue working. You gotta have a strong enough why that's able to pull you from your comfortable life to go out and put in the work to whatever it is you're trying to achieve. If your why isn't strong enough, trust me, you're not gonna leave your comfortable life. Your why might come in the form of wanting to retire your mom because you hate seeing your mom work 3 jobs just in order to pay the bills. You hate seeing her tired, so you want to retire your mom. That's your why. Or your why might come in the form of wanting to become a millionaire in order to enjoy the best of life. You want to travel the world and experience all life has to give. Or maybe your why might come in the form of wanting to etch your name in the history books of humanity so you're not forgotten. You gotta ask yourself, is your why worth sacrificing playing video games, watching movies all day, scrolling TikTok, being lazy, Because if your why isn't worth sacrificing, nothing's gonna push you out of bed to put in the work. And this is the reason why a majority of humans never actually do nothing with their life, right? Because they're comfortable where they're at. Maybe their why is just being able to pay the bills or have a roof on their head. If that's the why, well, once that why is accomplished, there is no need to continue pushing themselves to a higher and higher level. My why might be different than yours. Maybe your why is just being able to give your kids a good life, right? As long as they're able to go to college and not lack anything, you're satisfied with that. And once that why is, I guess, achieved, there is no need to continue pushing yourself, right? We all have different levels of why. It might come in the form of wanting to retire your parents. And if that's the case, well, you obviously gotta earn much more money. Or maybe you just want to be able to travel the world once. Well, once that's accomplished, there is no need to continue pushing yourself. So if you want to continue to grow and evolve as an individual, you must have stronger and bigger whys as you continue, I guess, developing as an individual and also in your businesses. Let me give you a bit of a backstory of my own life, right? For many years in my early 20s, all I did really was travel the world and live a life of debauchery. All I would do is 7 days a week, I would party and drink. This was my life for many years. Okay, I wasn't doing anything productive with my life. Right? My why was just going out and partying. Since it was a very easy why and it was a comfortable why, I really never needed to really push myself, right? Because I was satisfied with my life. I felt like a dream I didn't want to wake up from. Okay, I was very happy with the life I lived. Okay, I was very comfortable. My why was a really low barrier to entry. It was like a very low why. As long as I had alcohol in my system, I was happy. So this is the life I lived for many years. And this is a big mistake for a lot of, I guess, young men. Because their why is something stupid like partying, drinking every day, and with that they're satisfied, well, they end up living mediocre life, right? A life of conformity because their why is very low. So you gotta be able to put yourself in a position where your why is high enough to where you gotta go outside your comfort zone, actually put in the work, right? You gotta make sure you have a reason to leave your life of debauchery and guide yourself in the right direction, right? Too, like put in the work and build something for yourself, right? Whether that's retiring your parents or building the next Amazon, right? But you gotta have a strong enough why, a strong enough reason to pull yourself out of the comfortable life we're in. And it must be high enough why, because it's very easy to find a why. As long as I'm intoxicated with alcohol, I'm happy. No, it has to be a better and stronger why. So take it as a train of process. It might come in indirect ways that maybe you would have never imagined. But what pulled me out of that comfortable life of not doing nothing with my life was a couple life or death scenarios. I almost died a lot of times because of alcohol poisoning and drunk driving, and a couple, I guess, scoldings from my parents. But those instances really made me reflect on what I was doing with my life and if that was really the trajectory I wanted, right? Because I was just looking, shit, if this is what I'm doing right now, I don't want to imagine what I'm doing in like 5-10 years. I didn't really like where this was heading. So I decided to build a stronger why. I reevaluated my current why and I was like, no, fuck this why. I want something better for my life. So I decided that I really wanted to give my parents the best of life. And the reason I came up with this why was because I'm Mexican American. I wasn't meant to be born in America. My parents sacrificed so much just to be able to give you a better shot at life, right? To be able to be born in America and be called an American. I want their sacrifices to have like a happy ending. I don't want them just like, oh, I sacrificed so much for my kid and this guy's doing nothing with his life. No, I want to be able to give back now because they gave so much for me just to be able to have a better shot at life, right? The shot that they never had. And the thing is, in order to achieve this why, I gotta be able to make at least $100,000 a month, right? Just because if I want to be able to give them the best in life, well, I gotta retire them. I gotta be able to take them to enjoy the best the world has to offer, take them around the world, maybe get them nice cars. I can't be earning like $10,000 a month. I gotta be earning like $100,000 a month just to be able to give them this life. So what I'm working for is for my family, right? For my loved ones, to inspire my little brother with this YouTube channel, to inspire the next generation of entrepreneurs. And thanks to this why, I'm able to wake up every morning, right, with great energy. I'm able to work from sunrise to sunset, 70, 80 hours a week, right? Because I have a strong enough why, something that's pushing me, something that's calling for me to be able to make something go of my life. I'm still not yet at $100,000 a month, but I'm getting closer. I'm at tens of thousands of dollars with my marketing agency. Right? It's only up from here, right? I'm in this right trajectory, and I'm so thankful I reevaluated my why and I had those wake-up calls, because I don't want to imagine what my life would have been. I probably would have still been a drunkie, doing nothing with my life, right? A parasite to society. And this obstacle that you must overcome of finding your why is very important, because as a young man, maybe you don't realize it, or maybe you realize it by now. The world is daunting, and a lot of times you feel like there's high expectations upon you, right? To do something with your life. And sometimes you feel crushed by these expectations of having to do something with your life. And because of that, well, sometimes you resort to alcohol or drugs, God forbid. And that's a big issue. I really want you guys to analyze your current circumstances and ask yourself, are you really happy where you're at? Or do you think you can give so much more to life, right? Once you die, what do you want to be known for? What's going to be your legacy? And this is key. What do you want to be known for after you die? Once you overcome the obstacle, finding what your why is or what it could be, and maybe having a stronger why, well, that's where it all starts to change. And you start to see how easy it is to put in the work, right? And leave your comfortable life behind. Remember, comfort is a terrible addiction that's pulling you away from your dreams and goals. You must wake up from that comfortable dream and do what you're meant to do in this life. You only live once. So ask yourself, how do you want to be remembered after you pass away? What's going to be your legacy?